Good evening, and first at 5, an update on an abandoned church that went up in flames. Incredible pictures here, a sea of orange lighting up the evening sky in downtown Portland. So bright and so powerful. You can see smoke and flames from the other side of the river. Tonight, 24 hours on, we are learning what is left behind will be razed to the ground because of concerns over safety. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. Really dramatic video there. Surrounding streets in downtown Portland remain closed tonight in the area of Southwest 10th and Clay. Joe Ranieri has the story for us.
Flames and smoke from the former Portland Korean church could be seen from across the Rose City.
Yeah, it's a beautiful old building and it's a great part of the city, so it's really sad that we've lost the building that's been here for so long.
Jill Borick works in downtown and says the old church that was built in 1905 has always caught her eye.
It's a beautiful building, so it's really hard not to look at it and just feel kind of devastated that it's gone now.
The building was already designated unsafe, as you can see from this plaque outside with the letter U on it. That means it's put on a database list for police and fire that's structurally unsafe to enter. It's why firefighters fought it only from the outside. It's the second time this church has caught fire. Another happened in 2020. The church has sat vacant and boarded up for the last few years, and according to city records, the property is owned by local dentist Hadi Nordin, who bought it in 2015. The property's market value is listed at just over $1 million. He declined to comment about the property or the fire. We have learned that this property had a couple of code violations over the last couple of years, ranging from loose shingles on the building to an electrical violation 2 years ago. Both of those instances were fixed and repaired by the owner. People who live nearby say they could actually feel the heat from the fire.
It was pretty intense. You could feel the heat back, about a block away from the fire.
Andy Baywall could see the fire from his apartment and sent us these pictures. Now, after more than a century of being part of downtown Portland, this church that still has stained glass windows in the front will be coming down for good.
What started the fire, and we're still waiting to find out what time the demolition will start. The area of Southwest and Clay will be shut down until sometime tomorrow.
We're learning new information tonight about the suspect accused of attacking a senior on a MAX train platform. A warning once again this evening, the details here are extremely disturbing. Mike Benner's back on the story again. Mike, there is no delicate way to put this. This is a man accused of chewing off another man's ear and more. So what is the DA's office saying tonight?
Yeah, David, he says that Korn Kramer believed his victim was a robot trying to kill him. The suspect also admitting to drug and alcohol use prior to the assault. And really, that's no surprise when you consider the allegations laid out by law enforcement.
Please appoint PDC Calhoun.
With a deputy at his side, a visibly detached Korn Kramer faced a judge in a courtroom Wednesday afternoon. The 25-year-old is accused of an attack so horrendous, it's grabbing the attention of state lawmakers.
I was quite frankly in shock.
Ricky Ruiz represents a large portion of Gresham, where early Tuesday morning at a MAX stop, Kramer is suspected of assaulting a 78-year-old man. Authorities say Kramer chewed off the man's ear and chewed off some of his flesh to the point his skull was visible.
Very concerning, really worrisome, and quite frankly, terrifying. Just being able to see just this around my corner, right by where I live.
The DA's office says Kramer told detectives he thought his victim was a robot trying to kill him. In fact, he thanked officers for separating him from the robot. Kramer also told police he consumed alcohol, cannabis, and fentanyl pills before the attack he has since pled not guilty to. According to court documents, Kramer told law enforcement that he was recently evicted from a house in the St. John's neighborhood. I spoke to the homeowner who says he did rent a room to Kramer, and he says when Kramer wasn't drinking or smoking marijuana, he was a pleasant, sweet person. But recently, he says something changed. Kramer started mumbling under his breath and damaging the home, and that's when the homeowner kicked him out. But before that sudden turn of events, Kramer told the homeowner he once attended Oberlin College in Ohio. That school's athletic website lists Kramer as a goalie on the men's soccer team in 2015 and 2016. Years later, Kramer would turn up in the Portland area and eventually a courtroom to face charges for viciously attacking a senior citizen on TriMet property.
violence in public transportation and just violence in public is just unacceptable. But also I have to acknowledge that folks who are causing this have potentially deep addiction, mental health issues, and we have to address that as well.
Next matter on our page.
Representative Ruiz says he'd like to work with TriMet to make the transit system safer. A TriMet spokesperson tells me they appreciate the gesture, adding that it'll take a lot to make things better. And that includes state and local leaders better addressing societal issues like drug abuse, addiction, housing, and mental health. It's also worth noting that Corn Kramer is due back in court tomorrow for what is called a preventative detention hearing. In other words, the district attorney wants to keep him locked up as court proceedings unfold, and that's because of the severity of this crime. Let's send it back to you.
Just a disturbing story all the way around. Thank you, Mike. We have an update to a story we followed for weeks last summer. The Multnomah County District Attorney has decided to refile charges against 3 teenagers accused of setting dozens of fires on Mount Tabor. Police arrested the teens back in September, but later a judge dismissed the charges. At the time, the DA's office called the case a pending investigation. Then last month, a grand jury considered evidence leading to new charges. Samuel Perkins, Malik Harris, and Wayne Chen are all facing charges, including arson and reckless burning. The fires at Mount Tabor had neighbors shaken. We talked to one woman who watched as flames got dangerously close to homes.
A good chunk of our hillside, which is the park property, was on fire. There were some of our neighbors who were going on nightly patrols up at the park just because they were really worried.
The DA's office believes the teens may also be responsible for several other fires in southeast and northeast Portland. As for a motive, in an interview with the Portland fire investigator, one of the teens admitted he didn't know why they were starting the fires. He said they were just being stupid. We'll keep you updated as this story develops.
Well, tonight a Salem man is behind bars after a frightening attack in Minto Brown Island Park. Police say he attacked a female jogger on Monday, grabbing her by the throat. We want to let you know, though, the victim was able to get away, though it turns out this isn't the first time the suspect has been arrested for assault. Brian Clerkley's in the newsroom tonight. Brian, what do we know about the alleged attacker here?
Hey, David, he's 27-year-old David William Baines Belluno. He's charged with attempted kidnapping, strangulation, and assault. The victim in this case fought back and got away, and police are calling her an incredible person.
I usually am in broad daylight and stay out of the kind of sketchy areas, which are like the back trails, but and usually I'm in groups, but...
Imogene Lutz comes to Minto Brown Island Park in South Salem to run almost every day. She was surprised to hear a woman was assaulted in the same park she works out in on Monday evening. Police say the victim was running on a trail when a man started following her after she passed him. When she attempted to take another route due to high water, the suspect reached out and grabbed her by the throat and tried to pull her away. The woman fought back and got away. The suspect was identified as 27-year-old David William Baines Belluno. After hearing about the incident, some park goers worry about people running alone.
I know one woman who runs through and she wears headphones, and I wonder if she could even hear somebody approaching her and how well she'd be able to. She'd probably outrun them, but I don't know if she could fight them off.
While patrol officers were on scene looking for the suspect, a man called 911 requesting assistance because he was stranded in high water in a forested area of the park. The man was rescued, and based off the description the victim gave, officers determined it was their suspect, and Belluno was arrested. It's not his first time being arrested for assaulting a woman. He was charged with it in 2018 at this very same park. Court documents say during that assault, Belluno threatened the victim with a weapon and tried to rape her. After the 2018 incident, Belluno was committed to the Oregon State Hospital. His charges were later dropped because he was unfit to stand trial due to mental illness. But now Belluno is behind bars again, and thankfully the victim was able to get away.
I think if I was by myself without my dog, I'd be a little cautious. Yeah. I was just thinking, could I carry some pepper spray or something just to be safe? Mm-hmm. You know, you never know.
The victim in this assault was not hospitalized. Belluno's next court date is January 13th. Laurel.
We're so glad she's physically okay. Thank you, Brian.